right, everyone, so here it is, another update video on Chaos Theory here. So this has been quite tedious. I don't even know where to start. So Ray came over today. The objective was to kind of figure out, how we were going to situate the turbochargers, and to go ahead and get the intercooler mounted, which you can see we did get the intercooler mounted. It's nice and solid. I did not film that process, but I will show you a couple pictures of the brackets that we made. So that part was pretty straightforward, and you can see the brackets there. I mean, this guy is really solid on both sides. So the intercooler is taken care of. We may have to kind of notch some stuff down there. Here's the deal with the intercooler, guys. The plan for the intercooler is to come straight off here. Now this intercooler, I showed it to you guys in the video where I posted all the links to all the stuff I was going to use. The intercooler exits out the back here, and it's got two 2.5 inch inputs on the sides. The plan is to chop this off, weld a plate over this, and either weld this piece that we chopped off, or maybe make a new nipple that comes out kind of at an angle like that, and then kind of like you see here, just pop straight into the intake there, and put a blow off valve on the side here. That's the plan. We already checked the clearance with the new hood, and there's plenty of room for this pipe to come down and everything, so that's not a big deal. We got that all figured out. What we're having issues with is the turbo placement, guys, and I don't know, we're to the point now. So here's the deal. You guys know originally I was going to mount them just like this. I was just going to cut holes in the hood on either side of the cow induction, just cut a little hole out to have the turbos coming out of the hood. And the plan was to run the exhaust, bend it around, and come down and out the same holes that we had the nitrous exhaust coming out of. We are running into just tons of issues here. Everything from drain line clearance with the angle that everything has to be at, clearance for the exhaust pipes. Like, this is going to have to be a really tight bend. We've actually got some 3-inch stainless U's, but even that, it's going to hit the shock tower. And I was going to go ahead, and I probably still am, I was going to go ahead and cut all this material out of the shock tower to make a little room. But even then, I'm worried that it's going to hit the main part of the shock tower. We cannot cut this out, guys. This is like, we need to leave at least this much material, and we need to leave it from this seam. Otherwise, we're going to lose a lot of structural integrity. We can't do that. So I'm not even sure if we're going to be able to make that bend. I don't know. So anyway, we were thinking about that. So we've got exhaust clearance issues, we've got drain line issues, and the more I look at it, the drain lines that come on the sides of these oil pans, like either the Holley 302-3 or the TSP oil pan that I have, they both come out right underneath the engine mounts. I'm not sure if I can even get you guys in there to see. Yeah, you can see it. See where my finger's pointing? Right there. That's one of the drain lines right there. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to clear that with the factory K member, which is, guys, I told you I was trying to hit UMI up for a sponsorship. They did hook me up with a discount. They did not do the full sponsorship, and I cannot afford to do the K member right now. So with the stock K member, I'm not sure if we're going to, no matter what fitting I use on that, if we're going to be able to clear So that's another issue. If this video sounds really negative, it's because it is, because we've literally been out here for like 6 or 7 hours, and the only thing we got done really was making the brackets and mounting the intercooler and figuring out how the intercooler piping was going to go from there to there. Nothing else has been figured out yet. So at this point, I'm kind of reevaluating the whole hanging the turbos out the hood thing. I had even thought about just, you know, bringing some pipes straight out the freaking hood, saying screw the holes in the fenders and just running dumps straight out the hood. That's something I've thought about too, but I want the pipes to be long enough that the wideband O2 can read correctly, which is fine on that side. I could bring the pipe all the way back and then angle it up right before the cow, but on this side we've got our brake master cylinder here in the way. So then that leads me to, do I want to go ahead and convert over to manual brakes, because that's something that I had planned in the future anyway, and then the master cylinder would be way back here and we could just do hood exit exhaust on both sides. As you can see, guys, it's just been a kaleidoscope of, well, if we do this, we have to do this, and if we do that, we have to do this. I do have to move the fuel lines. Obviously, I've already taken them loose from the brackets. I'm going to be just running them back down through here. Eventually, we'll be redoing the whole fuel system, but for now, I was just going to run them down, cut the fuel lines under the car, and, you know, compression fit some 6AN fittings on, so I could just use the ones that I've already made for the time being on low boost. I don't know, guys. It's like I said, it's been a ride today. There's been a lot of just sitting around and looking at things and not really getting anywhere. To be perfectly honest with you, I'm kind of regretting buying this hood, because at this point, you know, I have bought this hood, and I did post clips on Facebook and Instagram. The hood was really too thick. What I wanted to do is I wanted to use the Motion Raceworks Zeus rail kit, and it's just a rail that bolts to the fender on both sides, and it's got like 5 Zeus fasteners that go down. And then I was just going to use like either 2 hood pins or 2 Zeus fasteners up here in the front, you know, just to keep the very nose of the hood secure. I've already ordered that. It should be here today or tomorrow. Well, it's probably too late today, but they should be here by tomorrow. But our hood was so thick that the thickest Zeus fasteners that they had at Motion Raceworks, it wouldn't fit. So I actually posted a video clip, as I just stated, on Instagram and on our Facebook group page of me and Ray shaving this hood down. I mean, it was, you can see it's still dusty where we shaved it, but I mean, it was almost twice this thick. It was just, I've never seen a fiberglass hood that thick. But we got that all shaved down, and he went ahead and, you know, sanded the whole hood decently. I mean, it still needs some finish work here and there. But the hood should be good to go with the Zeus fasteners and everything. But I'm kind of regretting buying it now, because I'm almost back to where I'm wondering if it's even worth it to put a hood back on this thing, guys. I mean, I got $300 in the hood at this point. I got $150 in the Zeus rail kit that's coming. So I've got $450 into putting a hood on this thing that I may not even be able to use, or if I do use, I'm gonna have to just cut freaking holes in it everywhere. So that kind of brings me back to where I'm at right now with the whole turbo thing. Kind of wishing I would have just stuck with the nitrous. Yeah, this is like the same crap I went through with Steppenwolf, where after I took the nitrous off and we switched it over to the turbo, and I was like, I wish I would have just stayed with the nitrous. we haven't even begun to really get this turbo kit hooked up, and I'm already regretting it. But I'm going to make it work somehow, guys. And let me tell you my ideas. If you want to give me some ideas, feel free to put them down below in the comments. But right now, I'm kind of thinking about doing away with the whole sticking them out the hood thing and doing away with these cast iron elbows. And Ray and I were discussing it. What we're thinking about doing is relocating the radiator, getting a smaller radiator and moving it all the way up to here underneath this ledge and cut all this out. So we do away with all the factory cooling fan and everything, just get, like I said, a dual aftermarket cooling fans. More money, I know. So we'll bring a smaller radiator up here, so that'll clear out all the room in front of the engine here. At that point, what I could do is, instead of having the turbos facing forward like they are right now, we could face them toward each other, where the intakes, were facing, like I just said, toward each other. And the exhaust could just come straight out the back of each turbo and out the holes that we already have in the fender on each side. That would probably take care of a lot of issues. It would take care of our exhaust issue. It would take care of, the fact that I would still be able to run this hood, because I'm like 5 minutes from listing this hood and the Motion Raceworks rail kit on freaking Marketplace right now, and just selling it as a package and taking a little loss on it. Because if I stick with the original plan, there's not going to be any point in even putting a hood on this thing, guys. There's going to be so many holes, because we're going to end up having to do, hood exit exhaust, plus the turbos are already going to be out of the hood. There's going to be no point. Basically, there's going to be a cowl in the middle, and all this is going to be cut open on both sides. It would be pointless to even have a hood on the car. That's kind of where I'm at. Like, that's pretty much my options, guys. I mean, you can tell me what you think in the comments down below. But at this point, my options are either A, sell the hood that I just bought and the Motion Raceworks Zeus rail kit for this car that I just bought, and just not even run a freaking hood and do, straight up exhaust exits. That's option one. And option B, or option two, is get rid of these cast iron elbows, relocate the radiator forward, and turn the turbos facing each other and drop them below the hood line, which is going to be probably a lot more work. It'd be a lot cleaner look, but it also make it harder to work on, guys. See, that's my dilemma. I'm just thinking out loud. This is kind of like a ramble video, I know that, but I don't know. I'm thinking out loud. I'm just trying to figure out what I want to do, because we have moved the turbos and tried to drop them down, and if we drop them down facing forward, then my drain line, there's no room for my drain line. It hits the frame rails, and the exhaust is going to hit the wheel even if we cut all this out. Yeah, it's looking like those are my two options. Either don't run a hood and stick with the original game plan, or run a hood and tuck the turbos down in there sideways and make it, a little bit more of a pain in the ass to work on. Of course, that's also going to cause them to draw in hot air, because it's going to be pulling air from right behind the radiator. But we do have an intercooler, and somewhere down the line, we are going to be switching to a Holley High Ram with a brick style air to water intercooler. So at that point, it would be completely irrelevant. It wouldn't make any difference what the intake temps are going into the turbos, because the ice water would be cooling the air down. Well, that's a lot of thinking out loud, huh, guys? Well, that's all I got for you right now. Once again, you can tell me what you think in the comments down below, but that's where I'm at. I'm looking at a long winter and a lot of fabrication work. Either way we go with this thing, to get it boosted. So That's it. Get out in the garage, get something done. Send me some good thoughts, because I'm getting really frustrated over here. And we'll see you next time here on Bad Luck Garage.